Tanzania is in shock, and so is the rest of Africa. A serving army officer has accused his own government of corruption and betrayal, calling for the military to take over before the nation collapses from within. His name is Captain John Charles Tesher, and his message, streamed live on social media, has turned one soldier into a national flashpoint. On October 4th, Tesher, an instructor in the Tanzania People's Defense Force, TPDF, went live across YouTube, TikTok, and WhatsApp. Wearing his uniform, he began calmly, thanking God for giving him the courage to speak. And then for nearly an hour, he tore into the country's leadership. He said he could no longer stay silent while thieves in power looted the nation. Then he named names: former President Jakaya Kikwete, Tycoon Rostam Aziz, and Abdul Hassan, the son of President Samia Suluhu Hassan. He accused them of forming what he called a deep state network, a government within a government, one that controls decisions, policies, and money from behind closed doors. Tesher's key message was simple but explosive. If the army does not act quickly, Tanzania will fall. The faith of the people now lies in their soldiers. Tesher listed a series of allegations that, if proven true, would point to systemic corruption at the highest levels of power. He accused senior officials of stealing public wealth, including profits from gold, coal, and port revenues, selling key national assets to foreign corporations while citizens starve, manipulating voter databases to fix election results, silencing journalists and activists, and driving opposition leaders into exile, and even covering up the mysterious death of former President John Pombe Magufuli, claiming it was not natural but politically orchestrated. His claims remain unverified, but his defiance was unprecedented, a serving soldier directly accusing the state of crimes against its people. Within 24 hours, the Tanzania People's Defense Force issued a statement confirming Tesher's identity and condemning his remarks. The army described his broadcast as a violation of military discipline and reaffirmed its loyalty to the Constitution, not to individuals. Government officials labeled the speech dangerous and irresponsible, warning citizens not to share the video. But the warning came too late. By then, the video had gone viral, viewed over 5 million times, with hashtags Captain Tesher and Tanzania Deep State trending across the continent. Reports suggest Tesher has since gone into hiding. Unofficial sources claim he is being protected by fellow officers who share his concerns but fear speaking out. For now, his exact location remains unknown. On the streets and online, reactions are divided. Supporters hail Tesher as a patriot, a soldier finally saying what ordinary Tanzanians have long felt. They point to rising prices, joblessness, and reports of corruption as proof that something is deeply wrong. Critics, however, warn that any military involvement in politics could destabilize one of East Africa's most peaceful nations. They fear Tanzania could follow the same path as Mali, Burkina Faso, or Niger, where coups began with similar messages of rescue and reform. The controversy comes at a time when frustration is growing across Tanzania. Inflation has eroded household incomes, youth unemployment stands above 30%, and allegations of vote rigging continue to shadow the ruling party, CCM, which has been in power since 1977. President Samia Suluhu Hassan, once praised for her calm leadership after Magufuli's death, is now facing criticism for allowing the same political networks to dominate state contracts, elections, and the media. Meanwhile, opposition leaders Freeman Mbowe and Tundu Lissu continue to face restrictions, with rallies blocked and party offices raided. Many Tanzanians see Tesher's message as a desperate cry from within the system, a sign that even the military is losing patience with politics as usual. Tesher's video echoes a broader pattern sweeping across Africa. In the past 3 years alone, 8 countries on the continent have seen military takeovers, often justified by the same reasons: corruption, insecurity, and political decay. In Burkina Faso, Captain Ibrahim Traoré became a symbol of resistance after toppling a corrupt government and redirecting national wealth into local development. In Niger, soldiers removed a Western-backed administration accused of selling out national resources. Now, with Tesher's broadcasts, some fear that East Africa may be next to feel the ripple effect. Analysts warn that Tanzania's image as a stable democracy could fracture if internal divisions between the army and the government deepen. The Tanzanian government has not announced formal charges against Captain Tesher, but under military law, speaking publicly without authorization is a serious offense, punishable by dismissal or imprisonment. Still, arresting him outright could risk escalating tensions. The TPDF remains one of the country's most trusted institutions, with surveys showing over 60% public confidence, a level no political party can match. That trust, however, could crumble if the army is perceived as protecting corrupt leaders or silencing its own officers. As one retired general told local media, when a soldier speaks like that, it means the pressure inside the system is reaching its limit. Beyond the controversy, Tesher's outburst has reignited questions about governance across the continent. How long can citizens tolerate deep inequality, high youth unemployment, and political elites enriching themselves while state institutions weaken? From Kenya's tax protests to Nigeria's currency crisis, the anger is spreading, and social media has become the new battleground. Videos like Tesher's are not just broadcasts, they are rallies. They mobilize millions, especially the young, who feel disconnected from traditional politics. In that sense, this story isn't just about one soldier. It's about an entire generation demanding accountability. As of this week, Captain Tesher's fate remains unclear, but his message, accusing Tanzania's leaders of selling out their people, has already changed the conversation. Whether his words lead to reform, repression, or rebellion now depends on how the government responds. Tanzania stands at a crossroads, a nation proud of its peace, but restless under its weight, a people loyal to their flag, but losing faith in those who wave it. If history is any guide, the louder the silence around voices like Tesher's, the faster instability grows. For now, the government says it remains committed to constitutional order, but the reality on the ground tells a different story, one of fear, frustration, and an uncertain future. From Dar es Salaam to Dodoma, Tanzanians are watching and waiting to see what happens next.